bring on our next guest. He had some times down in Raleigh as we bring in our guy Eric Dungey. Did Bradley Chubb ever give you that towel back, Eric? Like whatever happened with that? Whatever year that was down there, he stole your towel, and that I still find that bothersome all these years later.
No, he never did. So maybe I should just send him an old Venmo request. I know he's good for it now. So.
There you go. Yeah, like $1 million. You stole my towel back in 2017 or whatever year that was down there. Man, we'll get into this game here in a second, but like I remember the trips down there, Eric. I forget if you played there as a freshman or not, if that was one of the games you played or not, but you certainly played there in 2017. Like, whoo, those fans like get on you. That it's a hostile environment down there to go and play that down there.
Oh, very hostile. And NC State's known for, I was talking to Gomez earlier, NC State is just known for, poking the bear and, saying a thing or two or doing a thing or two to rile a little response out of you. So you can definitely know it's going to be a chippy game. And they just feed off of those fans down there as well. Honestly, one of my favorite places to play. I loved that, especially it was just kind of like a gladiator dome there. And fans are going to be yelling, players are going to be chippy. But as Syracuse, you can't let that get in your head. And you can't let them deter you from the success. I think Syracuse has the upper hand here. They got NC State's got a freshman quarterback. They just got to rattle him and really make Kendrick Raphael run the ball and see what they can do from that standpoint. But I think Syracuse goes in here and walks out with a win. And I think the only thing NC State has going for them right now is the fact that it's a nighttime game. Maybe the fans will have a few pre-game beverages or maybe a few too many. Going to be very rowdy, so the 12th man's definitely on their side, but Syracuse has been really looking solid lately, and as long as they're functioning at the ability that they're able to and not making those mental mistakes, I think they should be fine. And just do not let NC State get in your head and kind of go into their antics that they want to pull out of you.
Yeah, they do have a nice tailgating scene down there, Eric, at the state fairgrounds down in Carolina. Big parking lots, whole deal. They do it up real nice down there. So shout out to NC State for that. All right, you were in Vegas last week, so you got to see it in person. What was it like to take in that wild game from the stadium like you did?
Yeah, I thought they were just very relentless there. Kyle McCord, he was solid. Had a few throws there where you kind of held your breath for a second. Luckily, they were dropped, and then I'm going to give a shout out to my guy Laquon Treadwell. He on that 4th and 1. If he didn't make that second effort there, he was stopped behind the line. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't be talking about and feeling this way about that. So Laquon Treadwell, hats off to him. Just had an absolutely phenomenal game. Kyle McCord just functioning at the level that he's been at all year. Really just quarterbacking that offense. And that's a simple, blatant term there because he has just been on point. And when he's on point, these guys are just really able to roll. And it was just good to see Arondé Gadsden have the game that we know he should have. I think teams kind of started to realize, all right, well, if we double this guy, then we got guys like Trevor Pena and Meeks that are going to really hurt us. So they try to play him straight up, and look what happened. So this team is full of weapons. It's full of high arsenal there. And then defensively, just got to get a little more gap sound and just a little more strict there. But I think when your offense is being able to put up 40, 45 points and your quarterback's throwing for 300 plus every game, offensively you're in good hands. So defense has just got to get 1 or 2 stops and have a turnover or 2, which they were able to do so.
Setting the idea of injuries aside, which certainly, as we know, can really affect a football season here, Eric. Like, what can slow down this offense? Because you look at what McCord's doing, you look at the various weapons and how it's going. I don't know what defenses are supposed to, focus on here to slow this team down right now.
It's like they're lining up. He's like, hey, what we're going to do? We're going to throw the ball. Offensive line has been great as well. I don't think they get enough shout out here. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to have these games. And if Kyle McCord has a comfortable pocket out there, look what he's able to do. He's able to nitpick and really throw some great balls for these receivers. But, it's impressive because what Syracuse is going to do, and they're going to continue to throw the ball, and teams have not had an answer to it. So I think NC State, they're really going to use that crowd noise on their side. I think that's going to have the biggest effect. It was pretty loud there, but it was just the lower bowl. NC State is really be the first true road test here. It's a 3-3 team, but don't take that lightly. These fans are going to come out, especially for a nighttime game, and they are going to be in full effect. So Syracuse just has to make sure that if they have those nonverbal signals, that they're on point there. And the silent snap count, if it does get too loud, just to make sure things are moving efficiently and they're not missing a beat with that tempo.
All right, our weekly visit here with Eric Dungey, getting you ready for Cuse and the Wolfpack tomorrow night. And, you mentioned Laquon first off there, Eric, and, man, that 4th-and-1 run, obviously the touchdown to win the game. In many ways, the 4th-and-1 run was probably even more important than that looking back. When you look at, Laquon, everything that he's done, the idea of toughness, all the stuff Fran Brown talks about with it, how much of that do you notice as just the identity of the team right now?
I think that's the entire identity. And, Laquon has been Laquon since the start. He was the same guy even under Babe Ruth. He just has that contagious energy. And, you want a guy who's going to lead from the front, and that's Laquon. I mean, he just leads by his actions. And, you got to just respect him. He just works hard. Even when he doesn't get enough touches, he's still out there. He's hungry. He's supporting his teammates no matter who's in the game. So you just really got to respect him as a competitor and a teammate. And then you just see what it does to the offense around him. I mean, as a quarterback, when you have a running back like that, it makes your life a little easier knowing that, hey, on 4th-and-1, on 4th-and-2, or if we need this first down, I can just hand it to this guy and he's going to go pick it up for me. And then your job is really just to hit those plays and keep that ball and the chains moving.
Yeah, and it's got to be even more telling, right? Like, he was banged up, like, clearly from the midway point of the game on, that you're able to, like, not 100% drag defenders like he did on those 2 big plays.
Yeah, it's just impressive. You just see his legs continue to move. And Laquon is a big guy. I mean, he's a big back, but he's got just, the yards after contact's impressive for him. He's always falling forward, which a really good running back is always going to be falling forward. And you can just tell he's put in a lot of work in the offseason to get his strength up and his speed and his quickness, really, too. And then I just watched him in the pass game. I mean, he just always knows where his guy is to protect Kyle. And that is just such a huge asset for a running back. And that leadership mentality that he has. He's a very unselfish player, and you just got to tip your cap to the kid.
All right, put on your quarterback hat for me. Through your quarterback guys, what is it that is making McCord so successful right now?
You know what? He's just taking what the defense is given to him. He's just going. You can see him progressing through his read quickly. He's not getting too greedy with the ball, and he's just taking it. He's nitpicking. He's throwing the ball 45, 50 times a game, and he's just throwing the ball away when he needs to, and he's not putting the ball in harm's way. So that's really all you can ask for in a quarterback, and he's really able to just point guard this offense and make sure that things are moving efficiently, getting the ball to the playmakers' hands. His running threat. He's not a dual threat guy, but he can pick those up when he needs to, which is great to see. Because if you have a quarterback, CJ Bailey's not known for running around back there. Yeah, he can run, but he's 6'6", 190 pounds. So a strong breeze could really blow him over if NC State's Raleigh gets a little windstorm down there. But McCord, he's shown it, like the diving touchdown, early in the season. He's willing to put his body on the line for the team, but the thing that's going to get this team successful is that arm of his and making sure that he's just getting into the playmakers' hands. And the guys, I mean, we have so many weapons now. We always are talking about Aronde, but you got Trevor Pena, who's really stepped up on the scene as one of the most reliable receivers. Jackson Meeks, these guys who have just made plays after plays, and you still have more in the arsenal that really haven't come to the spotlight. So the names are endless here, and I think this is a great problem to have, because in the past it's really been 1 or 2 guys that are the productivity of this offense, but now you have a plethora of weapons that you can utilize. So offensively, we're looking really, really good. But as a championship caliber team, you need to be processing on all 3 teams, which is offense, defense, and special teams. And special teams was absolutely atrocious last game. Those 2 punts, it's just, you can't have that happen. You're in 4th and 25. You got to be punt safe. You got to understand they're going to be bringing the house for you. Your job as a punter is get rid of the ball. You don't need to take 3 steps. You don't need to boom it, 50, 60 yards down there. You just need to get it out of there. And that was the only really upsetting thing to see. And then not only that, with the second punt block there as well, resulting in the touchdown. So special teams really could have hurt them last game. Luckily, offensively, they were able to make it up. But if you take away those two punts, really, it's not even a close game. Syracuse wins that game by by 14, 21 points. I mean, that was a huge swing of momentum. So they really just have to sharpen up on the special teams aspect, but offensively, they are looking great.
What do you make of that stuff? I mean, we talked about last week. We talked about the kicking game has been wonky, and now the punt. They literally can't get a punt off. They punted 3 times, and only one of them went forward, which is not what you're looking for. And we know from last year, right? Like, we know Stonehouse is a good punter. Can you solve the scheme or blocking issues quickly? I know Fran said he's talked to other coaches and this and that, and it sounds like they've spent a lot of time on it this week. Can this be a 1-week fix, Eric, or how long does it take to get something like this right?
Yeah, it can't be a 1-week fix. I mean, I remember like AJ Durig from when I was playing was basically a 7th or 8th string lineman and probably was never going to see the field offensively, but he really took his special teams to heart, and he was a really big leader there. He was that shield for the punter. All you need is a guy to buy in, and I think they'll have the next man up mentality. I think you got a lot of guys who are going defensively, offensively. They might be tired for this and that, but punting is one of the most crucial and pivotal points of the game. I mean, that is flipping the field, and that's the chess piece right there. So if you're really just struggling from a punting standpoint, guess what NC State's going to do? The first punt of the game, they are going to bring the house, and they are going to continue to bring the house until the cracks have been fixed. So they have to make sure that they tighten things up. And I know Coach Brown is probably moving pieces around, making sure that he's got a good leader in there. But it's really truly important. And then as a kicking standpoint, it's just getting confidence as the field goal kicker and the place kicker, making sure that your coach has confidence in you, but you really just have to have confidence in yourself. I mean, people say it's the easy job. You got one job, but you can really just mentally implode if you do not have confidence to put those balls to the uprights. So hopefully they fix that, because it's a very important piece. And when you get into these closer games, that is really going to start to show. And you work so hard offensively and defensively, you would hate for one play on special teams to change the outcome of a game.
Yeah, I know this. Like the punts, when you're like watching a game on TV, that maybe is the play you zone out a little bit. Not tomorrow. We're going to be locked on the TV. Like, okay, let's see if they can get the kickoff. It's going to be a nerve-wracking moment. The good news is they don't punt very much, so it may take a while to get to it. You mentioned Bailey for NC State, Eric. So Grayson McCall, obviously, he took that scary hit last week. Helmet pops off, knocked out cold on the field, had to go to the hospital. Sounds like he's doing okay, but we'll see Bailey tomorrow. He said he's 6'6", he's a string bean, but he's played a lot here in the opening month and a half here because of injuries to McCall. Mm-hmm. Take me back to your freshman year. Like you got tossed in there early. How long does it take before you actually have a clue what's going on out there? Because it's not like this will be like his literal first action here on Saturday night.
I mean, I will say this about CJ Bailey. He is in a great position to grow, and he is going to be one hell of a quarterback when it all is said and done. Because those early quarterbacks that start, their freshman year, they're thrust into that position. They have to figure it out. And he's, trial by error right now. He made a lot of mistakes early in, the season, but you see him getting better and better. And I think his progression is going to continue to ramp up. He's going to improve game by game. And I was saying earlier, I just hope this isn't the game that he really makes that huge leap of improvement there. Maybe he can do that next week, but you can tell he's getting better and better and feeling more comfortable and confident with this. He's quickly, brushed off the freshman vibe around him, and he's continuing to get better. So I think for him, he could be dangerous, especially when you know that you're going to be the starter going into the game. Then you're getting all those reps. You're getting a game plan that is custom to you and your comfort. And they're going to really just start to make this offense vanilla for him. Hey, what are your reads? Let's get 1 to 2 progression reads, quick throws. Make sure that we're feeling comfortable. Get the ball moving, and then their coach is going to say, defense, this is on you. You guys have to step up. You haven't played or performed well basically all year except for 1 or 2 games, and you have to stop a high octane offense starting with Kyle McCord, and good luck, because it's going to be a huge task for them. And Syracuse defensively, just get some pressure on CJ Bailey. You really got to make him uncomfortable, make him get out of his comfort zone, and maybe hit her 1 or 2 times just to make sure that he knows your presence and speed those decisions up.
All right, man. Looking forward to it tomorrow night. I know they've all been fun games one way or another this season. They're playing some wild football to watch so far this year. All right, Eric, good stuff. Enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll talk next Friday, all right?
Thanks, Ryan.